One of the issues with reviewing My Little Pony and Friends is how to handle the standalone episodes. I'm obviously not going to use a whole review on a single standalone episode, so instead I intended to divide them into blocks. Since there are 6 standalone episodes in Season 1 and 3 in Season 2, I decided to make them blocks of 3. The format for the series after the end of Flutter Valley was to have a 4-part adventure or 2 2-part adventures airing Monday through Thursday, with a self-contained episode airing on Friday. This was only broken at the very end of each season due to repeating the specials. The Friday episodes tended to be less tense than the adventures and were often about times of peace in Dream Valley, though a few were small adventures in their own right. The Great Rainbow Caper was written by Diane Duane, who I know more for her non-canon Star Trek novels. This is ironic considering a lot of the tropes credited to TNG were actually used in this episode a full year before that series premiered. The episode opens with a rainbow of light taking out some clouds. Meg and the ponies want to pick cherries while not getting wet so the clouds are toast. After the cumulo massacre is over, Megan calls the rainbow back, but Danny wants to goof around with it because he's an irresponsible jerk in this episode. He creates a new cloud so it can rain on the others.
Cut it out and act your age!
You forfeited the right to tell anyone that when you put that thing on, Megan. Danny gets rid of the clouds and tries to weasel out of Megan's frilly wrath while we see all of this on a TV monitor.
The rainbow of light is the most powerful magic in the world. We can only use it once in a while, and only for special things.
Like stopping a rainstorm so you can pick cherries? Again, Megan, think of the context in which you're saying these things. Danny brushes all this off and gets out a design-accurate Polaroid instant camera to take Surprise's picture with it. He decides to take some aerial photos, and Surprise joins him because she's an irresponsible jerk in this episode too. The TV monitor we saw earlier belongs to Glunk and Gluta, a couple of gizmonks. They're wacky inventors and collectors and sing a bad song about their life choice. However, the point of their inclusion in the episode is they want to add the rainbow of light to their collection. They pick up Danny and Surprise on the monitor and pull some levers to begin their plan. A cage appears out of nowhere and drops on Danny and Surprise, and then one of the gizmonks' pets shows up.
Nice monster.
Holy crap, that thing ate Maleficent's goons! The giant pink thing carries Danny and Surprise back to the gizmonks.
Strangers, you are prisoners, and resistance is useless!
Only he had said feudal would have nerdgasmed so hard. Glunk takes Danny's bag of monster point and starts rummaging through it. However, he and Gluta aren't interested in the best tech the 80s have to offer. They only want the rainbow, which Danny doesn't have, so they switch to Ransom. They send their lackey Drudge to Dream Valley to deliver their demands and then raise a dome over their hideout. Obviously, Danny and Surprise need to escape and begin working on a plan. In the meantime, Megan and her group are picking cherries and enjoying the peace of no Danny or Surprise. However, Wind Whistle and North Star bring in Drudge to deliver the gizmonks' demands. Megan sends it back saying that they'll think about it while they're actually planning to spring the two. Danny starts complimenting the gizmonks on their random junk, and he starts into the techno-babble which impresses them to the point that they don't realize Drudge is back and wanting in. They eventually let her in by letting her drop in through the ventilation shaft. Drudge says Megan's thinking about it, and the gizmonks take it in stride. They decide to let Danny and Surprise run loose, however this is a mistake as they begin slowly wrecking the place. Drudge takes notice and decides to join in because the gizmonks suck as bosses. The gizmonks find their hideout in chaos and decide to say screw it. They book while Danny, Surprise, and Drudge use a random machine to escape. Drudge and some of the critters take over the hideout to make stuff that's actually useful, unlike the random crap the gizmonks were making to close out the episode. The Great Rainbow Caper is admittedly a bad episode. The gizmonks were terrible villains and the resolution was cliche. However, it's still entertaining, especially if you're a Star Trek fan looking back. I mean, they were one word away from giving us the Borg catchphrase a full 3.5 years before the best of both worlds. It's also short enough that the faults don't bog it down. Because of this, I rate it watch it for the suck. It's bad, but it's still fun to watch. Pony Puppy is another one of those episodes written by 2 writers, Carla Joseph Conaway and Gary Conaway. However, it is a more pleasant experience than The Glass Princess, which took up the rest of this week, even though that's not much of an accomplishment. It's the first day of fall, so obviously the leaves are well into changing color and falling. The ponies want to play, but Magic Star has other plans.
But don't forget, there are autumn chores to do.
What do you think this is, G3? The ponies are less than eager, and the baby ponies go out to play tag instead. They try to cross the swift flowing stream, but Tiddlywinks ends up falling in and the others can't reach her. Instead, a giant puppy comes in and fishes her out. The baby ponies are instantly taken to her, name her Dinah because she's dinosaur sized. She's lost, so they naturally take the dog big enough to eat a pony back home.
I don't know. A puppy is a big responsibility.
And I reckon this one's bigger than most.
That's one of the smartest lines to come out of Truly's mouth ever. The ponies go over their concerns, but with winter being a short 3 months away and will come with an instant foot of snow, they can't say no. What follows is random antics with the giant puppy. While she's useful in cleaning leaves, she eats all of Lickety Split's ice cream and ruins Heartthrob's Valentine collection. The episode's song even uses the backdrop of her running around knocking everything in Paradise Estate over. However, Dinah begins winning them over.
So how much trouble can she be?
Not that she needs to get any bigger, Cupcake, but you know, she kinda grows on ya.
Well, she's still only a puppy, so she'll be growing regardless. Winter drags on, and even Dinah's biggest detractor, Lickety Split, begins to warm to her. After winter of carbo loading, surprisingly not depleting the pony's stores, Dinah's grown to an adult by spring. Her pack is also returned to Dream Valley, so it's time for a tearful farewell. It hits Lickety Split particularly hard and truly helps her realize that Dinah will always be in her heart to close out the episode. Pony Puppy is a middle-of-the-road episode. It's not particularly good or bad. It's very light on the storytelling, with only Lickety Split, Truly, and to a lesser extent Cupcake doing anything of note. However, the shortness of the episode once again doesn't allow it to get bogged down by this, and the ending hit all the right notes. In the end, it's a watchable episode. And two things to note. This is the first story to not include Megan at all, and considering the time of year suggests she only visits the ponies during summer break. Also, this episode covers at least 6 months of in-universe time, making it the longest episode from the perspective of the ponies. Sweet Stuff in the Treasure Hunt was written by Cherry D. Wilkerson, for those of you wondering. This episode perhaps makes the best use of the standalone format to showcase a pony to be lost in a larger adventure. In this case, our star is Sweet Stuff. Sweet Stuff is a soft-spoken earth pony, and the episode is about her day when the valley's actually at peace. She's rolling around when the bushwoolies leapfrog by. They try to play with her, but she's too big to jump over. She suggests tag instead, but the scatterbrained bushwoolies book as soon as she says that the object has run from her. The running gag is here. This squirrel's going to show up a couple times to be a curmudgeon because Sweet Stuff is on her acorns. Sweet Stuff offers to help and then play a game, but the squirrel tells her to screw off. We then cut to Fizzy looking around the tall grass. Sweet Stuff meets up with her, and Fizzy gets around to explain she's playing hide-and-seek with the other unicorns. Sweet Stuff asks to play, and Fizzy agrees. The other unicorns wink in, and Fizzy says Sweet Stuff wants to play and be it. However, Ribbon reads Sweet Stuff's mind to discover otherwise, and Buttons agrees to be it instead. The unicorns wink away, but Sweet Stuff has to hoof it to her hiding spot.
Excuse me! Oh
Yup, it just so happens Sweet Stuff is laying on another one of that nasty squirrel's acorns. And the squirrel's so loud about it, she leads Buttons right to her. That means Sweet Stuff has to be it, but seeking ponies that can wink away at a moment's notice means she's outclassed. The unicorns offer a winkless game, but Sweet Stuff declines and heads off. The baby sea ponies offer to play with her, but they use her as a goal post for their water polo game where they use polo mallets. Man, everyone's a jerk in this episode. Sweet Stuff returns to Paradise Estate where the Pegasi are getting ready for a scavenger hunt. The items are pretty straightforward except for the last one.
no! Something that is one, even when it is many.
But that is illogical.
Most rules are until you decipher one, Whistler. I would think you of all ponies would know this. Sweet Stuff teams up with Wizards, grabbing items left and right and always leaving her behind. Sweet Stuff believes she can't do anything right and decides to head home. She runs across the bushwoolies who are hanging off a string caught in a tree. They ran to Truly, who told them to fly a kite, so they did and got stuck up there. Sweet Stuff tries to catch them, but they all want to drop at once, so she instead gets a branch for them to drop on. She observes they all do everything as one, and realizes that they're the last item on the list. She takes them back and ends up winning the treasure hunt. They celebrate with an ice cream party, but the bushwoolies start playing in it. This leads to things closing out with a song about being true to yourself. Sweet Stuff in the Treasure Hunt was a very cute and relaxing episode. There was more substance to it than Pony Puppy and gave us a look at what the ponies do when not under threat. Sweet Stuff also gave us a great example of how a soft-spoken character can carry a story. My only complaints are when Whistler seemed to not be thinking critically all that well, and others like Fizzy and the Baby Sea ponies weren't usually mean-spirited in this episode. I really don't like it when writers nerf a character to make another seem better in comparison. However, it only knocks this episode down from must-see to recommended. Again, it's a cute and relaxing episode and the perfect way to cap off a week.
sludge out dinner.